Mark Shepard shows up at the airport. I mean, what a decent guy, right? He has to drive 120 miles, he has to drive this guy he doesn't even know. And he drives me all the way from Los Angeles all the way down to San Diego, drops me off, waves, and drives away. Which either, he did it for his girlfriend, I know he didn't do it for me, but it either says he's just this incredibly selfless human being, or he'll drive 120 miles for a shag. One or the other, you decide. Mark was really great because Mark actually got to fill in all the blanks, because there was a lot about the show that I didn't know. I hadn't seen it yet. And I remember watching it. I really liked it. I really liked it. I love the intelligence of this Castiel character. I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh, I get it. There's a tall one, and then there's a short one. Yeah. And what's funny was that I got to meet them that first week, and I realized there's not a tall one and a short one. There's actually a tall one, and then there's a freaking skyscraper. And what's funny is that we started to talk. Jared and I started to talk now. We started to talk about Sun Valley, Idaho, which is where my father lives, and my brothers and my sisters are all there, and we lived there for 25 years. And Jared says, it's funny, I married a Sun Valley girl. And we started talking, we realized we know a lot of the same people, and we realized that my sister actually was in the same class as his wife.
Oh.
This was a complete serendipity. I said, that probably means my brother sold your wife some pot or something. He said, no. All right, well. And no, they were enormously likable, you know. And of course I got the chance to meet. I never did work with Misha, although I did know that I was traveling around, I think, inside them at some point. Yeah, little did I know that later on he would be holding my hair back while Jensen shoved a bone in my throat. Yeah, in a bunch. Misha's fascinating because I could tell right away he was deep, really intelligent. I really enjoyed his company very much. Although, if you spend more than a couple minutes with him, you start to doubt your own intelligence. I'm not sophisticated enough to hold my own with this guy, you know? Because even, his wife's like this she has like 2 PhDs or something, and when they're not working on TV, they're like saving children and building schools in Haiti, and you're all like, geez Louise, man. What have I done? I tell ethnic jokes on Twitter, I mean. The good news is that I was flying back with him one time, sitting next to him on the plane. He was talking about this movie he was producing, and his baby he'd adopted. I don't know what he was talking about, but I was like, and then he flips open his laptop, and I'm thinking, oh Jesus, I'm gonna get to look at some Russian film he's studying editing on, and of course Family Guy pops up. I'm like, oh my God, he's one of us. Thank you, God. But anyway, so that was my introduction to the show, and it was a lot of fun. I kept bouncing back and forth. And working in Vancouver is great. I mean, Canada is great. I mean, the water's great, the air is great, you can eat off the roads practically. And when you go back to Los Angeles, you look around, you can see the air, and you're wondering why am I here? So every time that they bring Nick back up, it's very excited to go back to Vancouver and hang with those guys. I remember we were doing that scene in where I'm outside the limousine, and the very first time that you met Dick, and Crowley appears on the inside of the limousine. And they could only, at the last minute, they could only find one limousine, and that looked like something that you would pay $60 for prom. Like this stretch SUV, and I remember we were all looking, and the art director's like, yeah, I know. And I remember it was sweaty in there, and Mark really wanted to get back to Los Angeles. He had something he had to get back to LA for. So the final bit that I'm looking at Mark, I'm reading with a piece of Scotch tape on the wall of the limo. Mark is on a plane back to Los Angeles. And when I'm walking in and I'm saying, don't make me Vivian, to this cat who was going to be slaughtered very shortly. And I remember as we're walking, every time they yelled action, there was a bulldozer in a field across the street that would fire up. Cut, bulldozer would fire down. Okay, roll them. Bulldozer would fire up. I mean, he's literally moving dirt from one side of the field to the other. That's it, back and forth. And they go over, and some poor schlub the second AD has to go over and say, we're filming Supernatural over there. Is there any way we get you to stop doing that? He goes, I don't know, I'm real busy, eh? And the guy says, would you like to have a meal with the cast? Would you probably get your autographed photograph? He goes, no, I'm too busy, eh? And the guy's like, all right, how busy are you? He goes, about 300. So this schmuck has got a bulldozer and he's fleecing film crews all over there. What was funny was that I got a chance to say bib you before I ever knew what bibbing was. I got to say, don't make me bib you. And I went to the director. I said, what is bibbing? He goes, I don't know. But it's probably pretty bad. And I didn't know what it was for a couple episodes. And then finally I remember I read it while my 11-year-old, my 10-year-old Ben was in soccer practice. And we go out to dinner afterwards, and I said, hey, I got a surprise. I said, I know what bibbing is. He goes, oh, what is it? And I said, it's when they make you eat yourself. And he goes, oh, I wish you had told me that. And then later on, before bed, Graham comes to me, he's brushed his teeth, he's got his jammies on, and he goes, Dad, how do you eat yourself? I mean, how do you eat the last two? And I said, son, you have to get a running start. And then we did the bit where I got to shoot Bobby. I know, it was a shock to me too. And, but it was kind of bitching though, because it's like we're shooting at 2 in the morning, it's freezing cold, I can see my own breath, I've got the gun in my hand, we got a steady cam operator moving like this, and I'm doing this, you know. Of course, everybody on the crew looks at their own stuff, right? I'm thinking, look at me, I'm really in the zone, and the camera guy's going, my shot's awesome, and the sound guy's like, the sound's fantastic. You know, the hair person wants to do it again because some hair was out of place. But it was like, that was really epic. I really enjoyed that one a lot. And then it's funny because I went home and I remember I was on a show called Andy Richter Controls the Universe years ago. It was an interesting season of Fox that we had Firefly. Can you imagine that they had Firefly as a regular series and they canceled it? And I know, it was amazing. We had Greg the Bunny, we had other juggernaut called American Idol that season. And anyway, my children had never seen it, so I popped one in, and I would be damned if Jim Beaver didn't pop up as a guest star in one of the episodes that never aired. He played a prisoner that Paget Brewster, who went on to make $1 trillion on another show called Criminal Minds, but she was trying to get him to write poetry. And Jim Beaver was in the orange jumpsuit, right? And he says, I don't want to write poetry. He's got a big beard. She goes, well, what do you want? He goes, I want to sing. And she goes, no singing. I couldn't believe it. I said, wow, I can't believe it. How did I never put this together if I've met this man before? And I remember I emailed him a photograph of him, because he'd never seen it either, singing in an orange jumpsuit with Paget Brewster. He emailed me right back saying, where did you dig that up? But so that was that, and then of course, you know that the Dick Roman character is going to be a one-way ticket, because the batter he gets, I mean, you just know. So you decide to just go down swinging, just be as mean and nasty as you can. And of course, I found out later on that Sarah Gamble, who created the character and run that season, she was going off into the sunset too, and a new cat named Jeremy was going to be coming along. And so I thought, well, this is going to be over soon enough, so I'm going to have as much fun as possible. I think